Hello, Norval Virtual Choir. So this is going to be a little tutorial video on how to actually record a video for the virtual choir. Today we'll be doing our first video as a larger choir group. So there'll be many of you who've never done a video recording before for the choir. So I figured for those of you that haven't done that before, this might be helpful. And for those of you that have, you can skip this video and go straight to the conducting video where we actually get into the music. All right, so get set. This is going to be an interesting experience. It's a lot of fun when you see the final result. But if I remember the first couple of times I did a video, I was struggling with my singing to begin with, and then we added that layer of adding the video in, and I wasn't really prepared for it. So I'm just want you to understand that this is a new process, and to be patient with yourself and give yourself a little bit more time. Don't try to squeeze this in between cooking dinner and putting the kids to bed or whatever. This you're gonna need to give yourself a nice hour or so once you've learned the song to then just get this done, do a couple of takes, try things out, position the camera, all of that kind of stuff. For most of us, we'll be using our phones, our smartphones, to record the video. I have also had some success using the webcam on my laptop, which actually in some ways takes out a little bit of the complexity, because it's a lot easier to put your laptop up on some books and get that. I mean, all of us are kind of pros at doing Zoom videos and stuff nowadays, so maybe the laptop's going to feel a lot more natural. Just bear in mind you're going to sing better if you're standing up, so that desk, maybe find a way of elevating the laptop and doing that. If you're on a Mac, you can just use the built-in QuickTime Player. It's called QuickTime Player, and if you open up the QuickTime Player and you can say New Recording, and then you can actually get a video and audio recording right there off of your Mac, and it'll be landscape. And as long as you're using a fairly modern computer, the camera quality is going to be good enough. The audio quality will be there. You can record the audio just as you usually do. I will say this, you don't have to record the audio at the same time as the video. I've done a few fun ones where I'm out in the yard and I'm singing, but really I'm just mouthing the words, and I've already recorded my song, and you can just send those to us and we'll have no problem as long as you're mouthing the words exactly the same way that you sang the song. Then we can put it together pretty well. So that's another option for you if you want to just get the recording out of the way, and then if you've got a way of playing the recording back that you made in your ear so you can hear your own performance, and then you can just mouth the words or sing low or whatever, we can ignore the audio that's part of the video and just use the audio that you recorded. So that's another way of sort of separating the two concerns, and that is actually a lot less frustrating sometimes to just do it that way. The trick, of course, though, is still that you need to be able to hear what you're singing so that you're singing in time, because you can't have a different timing, otherwise it's going to be like an overdubbed foreign movie, and that's going to be bizarre. You killed my brother, now eat it, time for revenge. Sorry, ancient joke. I am ancient. All right. Gonna have a little sip of water. Handy thing to have around. Warm water. All right. Okay. So what do we need? So you're going to need to print out the music if you haven't memorized it, or if you need to read it. You'll need the lyrics. Now, my recommendation with the lyrics is I've sent you the lyrics in an email, so you can just print that out nice and big so that you can have that behind your camera and you can read it. One of the things I did that was pretty useful for me is I used my laptop actually just as a stand, and I just opened the laptop up and I put the phone at the bottom of the laptop resting against there so it wouldn't fall, and then I had printed out the lyrics and I taped them above the laptop. So the laptop, I wasn't using it as a computer at all, just as a stand, and then I was able to sort of look at the phone, and I was just looking right above the phone at the lyrics. That worked out really well. Another thing that you can do is use one of these old handy music stands. If you've got one of those, I know a few of you do, kicking around, that's usually at a pretty decent height to rest the phone on or to rest the lyrics on, and then figure out how to set those things up. Now I've got this stupid, how do I, all right, sorry, probably shouldn't have done that. Okay, let's talk about the phone for a minute. If you are going to use a phone, it's really important that you hold the phone in a landscape orientation like this, not a portrait orientation like that. I know most of us are used to talking on the phone like this, but for a video that we want to record, we want to use the same ratio as the screen. You can see the screen here has this landscape orientation, and the phone is going to match that if you hold it like this. Now, many of the phones have a front-facing and a back-facing camera. Ideally, you're going to get better video quality if you use the camera on the back of your phone. It's a much higher quality camera. But if you're using your phone to also record your voice, then you want the microphone to be facing you. So this is not a good idea if you're using your phone to record video and voice at the same time. So if you're recording video and voice at the same time, I would recommend you use your phone like this with the front-facing camera. The bonus of using the front-facing camera, despite the lower video quality, is that you get to see yourself. So you can position yourself and you know when you're properly in the frame. So let's talk about properly framing things up. I'm just looking at my screen here. So this is about the framing that you're looking for. So a couple of inches above the head, and then you cut yourself off at the collarbone. And if we can all have a similar framing and be mindful of that, it's going to make a much more uniform looking layout, as opposed to somewhere somebody's over here and someone's off centered and someone's too close and things are cut off. That will be just a little bit more challenging to make it fit together. So I'm standing a little further back than I would normally for a recording, a virtual recording. You want to be at least something like that. Again, I would rather you be further back than too close, because we can't add we can't add your chin, but we can crop it if we have to. So if you need a choice, then that's it. The other thing to consider, though, and this is for all recordings, if you are recording into your phone, the further you are from the phone when you record, the more the sound waves can bounce around the room and create echoes and bring the quality of the character of the room into your recording. And the reason that's a bad thing is because everybody has a different room, and so if we let the room characteristics of each individual person seep into the audio, it's going to sound exactly like what it is, a bunch of people in separate rooms singing at the same time, as opposed to the illusion that we're trying to create of everybody singing in a choir together in the same hall. So the less of your room we can have in the character of the song of the recording, the more I can add that character back in using my software, so we all sound like we are in the sanctuary of the church. That's the goal anyway. We just do what we can, of course. In terms of the phone, so if you're using your laptop, it's actually a lot easier because you can set your laptop up, stand in front of it, and you can just sing, and away you go. But if you're using your phone, you got to figure out, how are we holding the phone? How are we keeping it steady? Do not try to. I've sang like this. I've sang into the phone like that, and by the end of the song, I'm like, I can't do it anymore. So unless you're going for that exercise, you want to get those huge shoulders, I would suggest resting the phone on something or using a helper, getting someone else to hold the phone. And what they can do is they can jam their arms up against their side, hold the phone like that, for example, and try not to move too much. And that way you're using kind of a bit more of your body to hold everything in place. If you're doing that, you're going to get tired as well. So you get somebody to sort of stand here. That's probably the easiest thing to do, is just to have an assistant help you for that. Otherwise, you can just rest the phone against something. If you find yourself, wanting to invest, in a $50 thing, you can get one of these tripods. The phone sort of fits into that, and then you can rest that on your desk. That becomes a pretty useful little thing to have around. What else have I done in the past? Yeah, like I said, I used my laptop a few times when I was recording outside just to have something to rest the phone against, because then you can adjust the angle of the laptop. The frustrating thing, of course, is getting the framing right. So that's where the front-facing camera is helpful, because then you can sort of see yourself as well. All right, let's see. What else do we need to talk about? So we've talked about the phone. Oh, yeah, so of course, just like always, we want to be recording with headphones. Now, I've got these kind of headphones right now, and they're pretty big, pretty bulky, kind of foolish looking. So earbuds are going to be a lot better. Just keeping those things out of the way. I have them somewhere here. Again, if you only have the over-the-head headphones, that's totally fine. The other nice thing about earbuds is you can have only one in, if you wanted to, when you were recording your audio, and then you can so that you're hearing yourself. and you can still hear the audio in one ear. So that's a nice feature of those guys as well. So I think that's about it. So what we're gonna do, so you're gonna have your computer to play back the audio track so you can sing along. And again, sometimes it's simpler to split the two things up, do the audio recording like you normally would, and then go off and lip sync your video. But if that's going to be too challenging to do, then your best bet is to get yourself set up so that your computer, you can hit play easily on the computer to play the audio, and that your lyrics are easily printed out somewhere or handwritten in a way that you can kind of see them. I think for this you'll probably have to memorize the tune, which I don't think is going to be too hard for most of you. And I have provided different parts recorded so you can hear your part and learn it and go along. So you'll have to sort of memorize the tune so you don't have to be looking at the score, and instead you just have the lyrics and you can sort of go through that. I believe that is it. Now, after you've recorded your video, and if you're recording your audio separately, then send me those two files separately. If you're recording all in one and just using your phone, send me that file via WeTransfer. These are massive files. They will not fit over email. It's not unusual for a video file to be about 400 megabytes. Okay, and so that's going to take a while to upload. So be patient with that. Depending on the speed of your internet connection, that could take 20 minutes to upload, so give yourself some time for that as well. We use WeTransfer because it'll handle the storage of the large file. You won't have to send that in email. You just send me the link. That works really well. And what else can I say about that? When you save it, if you're recording on a Mac, it's going to save it as a .mov file, which is a QuickTime movie file. Perfect, no problem at all. If you are recording on your phone, it'll probably be a MP4 file, which is also perfect. If you're recording on a Windows PC, you might record it as an .avi file, and that should work as well. Last thing, I guess, is with regard to the WeTransfer, you can certainly send everything to me and I'll pass the videos on to Phil. Or if you want, send the videos to Phil and the audio to me. If you've recorded video and audio together, send it to me because I have to extract the audio out of the video and mix it. So regardless, you might not know this, but regardless, I stripped the audio out of everybody's video. So Phil is actually mixing silent video together and getting everything synced up, and then when the audio track comes in, then it's the audio track with everybody all together in it, and then Phil just lines that up so everybody's mouth is moving at the same spot and singing the right words, and voila. I think that's all I can think of right now. If there's anything else, we'll send via email. Oh, and for those of you who are experienced and have watched to the end, thank you. If you have some tips or some tricks that you've tried, be sure to share them with the group. I don't know all the ins and outs, and I don't know how everyone's been doing it, and I'm sure that you've got some tricks that would be worth sharing with everybody. So by all means, please do share those via email or in our Facebook Messenger chat or whatever. Looking very much forward to seeing you finally all together on the big screen, as it were, and we'll be recording for a couple of Sundays from now. Thanks very much. Talk to you soon.